It should just...
It works.
You see a bunch of drawings?
Yes.
Okay.
Yay, look at me go.
Okay. Yeah, you don't do that. I don't know how to make it so that people can't draw, but that's the only bad thing.
I won't draw.
Okay, so this is Diamond. Elo?
The account that I'm on is because I'm with a friend is at 3,300, and for some reason the game made him placed in 2,600, and this is the game right before he placed.
Okay.
So it's like 3K instead of 3.3.
Okay.
But it's a draw and it has a mic in it, so. Is there a way to make it full screen or no?
Yeah, at the bottom there's like the like 4 arrows.
So you're 2-2 right now?
That's a full screen? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Why am I crouched? You're 2-2, or are you 1 win on your healing? So you're 2-1.
1 into 1 tanks.
Yeah.
1 in all with this.
Alright, let's get to where you defend.
You gotta do that full on crunch, or else you're a bussy. Look at how fancy I am.
Okay, I'm done crunching.
Good job. I might back up shield based on what they have. I'm gonna back up shield. I'm going early.
Alright, so yeah, that's fine. That was good, and then...
Back left, back up to the left, guys.
Okay, so the only thing here is you should have said where you want to back up to.
Yeah.
Before, like, so when you're like up here and when you say, oh, I might back up to a shield, it's like, okay, then we're gonna back up, like back left so everybody knows where you're gonna go before it actually happens, because then afterwards it's literally impossible for them to like rotate, because now they're gonna go across because your shield's so far back and they're just gonna take a bunch of damage, like whatever, as they go from like here to here, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure that, like, you know, they know like this is where you'd want to hold, like in the beginning anyways.
Back left, back up to the left, guys. I should have said which way. Fuck. Sigma's low. Pulling now.
So that's good.
Jake, why do you keep running away from shield?
I was pulling to get, or I was going to get going.
I'm running back to points.
Yeah, now there's pretty much just lost this, so at least you're just on for points, so that's the best you probably could have done there.
So there's nothing else that you would have done?
No, holding that spot is fine. Going for the pulls is fine. It's just you lost because your team got split, and then that's like the biggest thing. That's how you lose fights as a main tank, because you can, if you don't tell them like where they need to go, then they're gonna die. And then once, like in 2CP especially, since their spawns are so much closer than yours, when you go down one person, you pretty much have a very good chance of losing the fight unless you're a DPS like hard frag and kill. You have to go for like a 1 to 3 trade on defense to actually like hold off the attackers. So
okay, so basically more specific comms.
Yeah,
would have won.
It's just saying like where you'd want to like hold or whatever, so then that wouldn't have happened, and then you would have got like a better hold. So instead of it being only holding for like whatever, a minute to 30 seconds to a minute or however long it was, you actually probably hold like a couple pushes, and then because once you survive the, like in 2CP and stuff, once you survive the first initial push, then you start getting an ult advantage, and then you can, that's how you snowball and get first point holds, is because then you can start investing ults onto points that like after they like get a pick or something, and then that's how you win.
We really only have 2 people who are good hook targets.
It's not hard to hook. You just need to force. Our DPS need to be forcing bubbles.
Why can't I pause? Oh, did you take control of it again?
I thought it was a pop-up menu. I'll pause it. Okay, how do I change it back? I'm clicking on it.
I have no idea how to fucking do it, to be honest.
Oh crap. Wow, I'm retarded. Oh, okay, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
There, now it's only you. So now you're the only one who can draw and pause and stuff. So that's how you change it.
Alright, so here when holding with Orisa, there is
It's not hard.
Okay. The shield? What is this trying to accomplish here?
I was trying to shield the stairs, but then I turned early. Because like you put it on the wall and it covers the stairs and the other side. So you can look down, but it was kind of
Hook, you just need to force, our DPS need to be forced.
This
so, like,
is
here.
So the shield is
Yeah, I know.
It's
I want it over to the left like 1.5 feet, so that the triangle thing is on the wall.
In the beginning, when you like, because you don't want to just put a shield here because they start gonna have to like rotate from like whatever main. You put it like, I don't know, here, and then you only rotate it to here after, because you're gonna watch them cross on this bridge. So the first shield, you always want to like have it. You put it like at like this, at like the edge, so then it blocks so your DPS can like peek and like shoot through the windows, and then only after, once they rotate up to the steps and going top, then you put a new one, because then right when you put it there, you'll have time for, if they try and like, you know, push up, it's gonna be on cooldown again by the time they get up top, so you can replace a new one anyways. So it's like always the first shield here, so you can spam them out as they're coming through the steps. And then after you see them like get past, then you put it to here, right hitting like shooting at like the bookcase, because then it goes through, and then whatever, depending on where they go, is where you put it next.
It's not hard though, Hook. You just need to force, our DPS need to be forcing bubbles, and they're just going on point. Pulling Lucio.
Oh, I'm alone there.
Not all.
I got Lucio.
Okay.
You get rolled.
Can we focus on the Sigmas?
And do you want to know why?
Because force, our DPS need to be forcing.
You're not watching the middle, so you have no idea if they're coming up through here or they're going through the middle. So that's why also like cooling like that this Tom Stomp's way better, because then you actually have vision of where they actually want to go, so then you can actually meet them. Because otherwise you could have, like, if you saw them coming through middle, then you could have just dropped and played whatever corner, then let your team like know whatever. Like, you still, I think, got a hook, but okay, they didn't. But like if you would have just like said, oh hey, they're coming through middle, everybody dropped, then if everyone's dropped with you, your hog's with you, then maybe he gets the hook off instead of like trying to do something else, you know, because it's literally going to be right in front of his face.
Can we focus on the Sigma?
This is fine.
Can you pull the Hanzo far right?
No. Yes. No. I don't know where he is.
Far right.
He's on the high ground though. Zarya's one. Come on. DPS.
Oh, we don't get rolled quite yet.
Leave.
Yeah, so this is all fine, this positioning and stuff.
God, that was so much fucking damage. Too aggressive.
Yeah, you lost both your DPS here. And like I said, your hog was already like, the best thing to do in this situation, since you know you're down DPS, is you just want to try and stabilize, right? So you'd want like, you just like, hey hog, like come back here, like since you see him like trying to overextend, you can just be like, hey bro, whatever, like come back, like just stabilize whatever. And then if you like for a hard whatever, you can put a shield here, but I wouldn't go past anything, since you don't have any damage to kill anything, because then you kind of like play into their hand here, like pushing all the way up, and then
God, he does so much fucking damage.
they kind of just go on top of you. But if you're holding backwards, you could have maybe stayed alive till like your DPS got back.
I'm going Hammond to stall.
You could just nano spawn.
We should nano visor.
So that's still a good rollout on Hammond. It's fine. Going for the honor, which is good.
Anna's low ground, she can't heal for 5 seconds.
So that's fine.
Here comes Nano Blade. Genji's one.
I get really unlucky. Oh wait, not yet.
Okay.
Come on, Zarya.
So that's still good. Like the comms and stuff are still fine of like what you should be targeting for your team at least. So
So why would I
does
get
it
pushed
do
back
that?
there? Because I was holding W and I get booped backwards while Hanzo ulted. And I feel like that's just a bug and I got unlucky, but
well, they have a Lucio. He might have just booped you.
well, it wasn't a sharp movement change. It was like
Zarya, we gotta get
I
Zarya. She's high
sucked in
charge.
and then like pushed out.
Oh, I think you actually you didn't go all the way around. I think you hit the corner of the thing. I don't know how, if you can even make it. I guess you can't make it slower, but like, I think like this corner taps this, so then it doesn't actually let you go across.
No.
See, like here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's this tiny little. Yeah, it's just like this tiny little thing here.
Okay.
Hit it, so then that's why it brought you going backwards.
Okay.
Why does it do that?
So kind of unlucky.
I'm pretty sure everyone.
Why?
I got 2 there.
I should go through, and it knocks me back.
You get that for the 2, I know it's dead.
Oh. Glad you were on.
So now we're just trying to like stall out, which kind of like there's nothing really to go over with this, because kind of just go on to point and try and stall as long as you can.
So
the only thing,
or should I have gone for picks? Like
no, you still want to like, you pretty much spin to you see one of your DPS get back, and then you call for like a target. So it's always when in stall fights, you always try and go for a squishy, and healers are definitely the priority. So like when you're going to point, you're trying to find wherever the healers are at. So I don't know, when you like whatever like roll out, you'll be looking to do whatever. So you see like Rosario, so then this is still a fine if you say, hey, Rosario low right side, like try and kill her, so at least everybody knows that you can try and maybe kill her before. So like rolling around, yeah, sure, like just stalls out point longer, but if you want to try and like win the fight, then you have to try and get picks.
Yeah.
So the only thing like you'd have to do is just be like, hey, Zarya won, and then instead of just rolling around circles, you just try and like hard focus that to get the pick, and then hopefully somebody else comes back on and can touch the point, and then you just slowly build an advantage from that.
At that last point first.
Yeah.
Well, we should have May
We
anyways.
can't fight for 2 seconds because there's no healing.
Can we get a May for the Orisa Hog thing? Grasp or whatever?
Shit, it's hard to know if you're fucking. I'm gonna turn you up in Discord. I get confused from when you're talking and then on the thing I'm like, fuck this. Like, okay.
It's more of an acceptance.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about his ult.
Diva Matrix.
Wait, who's he?
Oh, whoa.
Someone in the video.
Alright, let's.
Sock.
Alright, let's see this.
Well,
It doesn't. It absorbs things, but it doesn't like move it in towards them. Like Orisa's pull is a suck, but it's not a.
This guy said the Sigma's shift was a suck, but
It's literally not.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
just
suck,
it's
or
really
is it-
just no. It's just like a black hole that things get
Really
thrown
value
into.
for you?
Doesn't suck anything.
Or is it just me?
He's like.
Oh, and then someone else joins our Discord.
Okay, we gotta force out the.
Over.
No, they're just gonna bubble it.
Then they don't have bubble.
Yeah, but then they're gonna have bubble. I'm pulling. Why not?
So, doing like the pulling stuff is like fine. Like I know you want to like bait out bubbles or whatever, but you can also, since you're like walking up and they're holding so close, it's like bang, you just, because you're not really gonna do engage like off this shield anyways. You're gonna try and do it again. So it's like at the same time you see them this close, you would just whatever shoot the orb. So then you can force out like a hold down like what he was saying before, and then you can take the advantage. So it's like both of them work, but since you have to try and push up anyways, and this shield is gonna be the one that you engage off of, then you just force the whatever cooldown, and then once this shield comes up, then you can go on. Or if they don't bubble for some reason, then whatever, you get the hook. So
My only problem
We
was
gotta
that
force out the.
the cooldown for bubble is the
No,
same
they're just gonna bubble
so
it.
they'll have it anyway next time.
Then they don't have bubble.
yeah, but like the
That's
hard
fine.
thing is to force out bubble when they have a shield. You have to try and break the shield, and then once you break the shield, then they're gonna use the bubble. So then you're already wasting like 30 seconds before you even go for like one pull. Where in the beginning you could go force out the cooldown, and then you can whatever try and get it again before they get it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they're gonna have bubble. I'm pulling. Why not?
So it's still fine. You still got value out of the
That Zarya should die.
pull, which is good.
Shield in 3. Where's
So it
the
still
Widow's behind
works?
us?
but
Ground. Pulling her.
you know, either way,
Okay, that's unlucky as fuck.
there's just ways to like min-max the amount of like as fast
Where's
as you can do it.
Widow?
To the left, left.
Put a mega
Okay,
on the left.
I'm pulling her now. Got her. No, I didn't.
Push. There.
I am. I didn't want my whole fucking team to die to Widow as we move over. Which you know is what happened.
So here, it's still, I would still whatever rotate to point because you know Widow's up here, but she has to contest anyways. So yeah, it's so fine for you going for like the pull and stuff, but you could still go for the pull as you're just like
Going to point.
walking to point, yeah. Because like going up here to go for the suck, it like then you still have to end up going to the point anyway. So kind of just wasted like movement or whatever.
Efficient, yeah.
And then since you already have them Sonic 2, it's easier to get the pull on here because then you can see like which side to put it on and then just put it right in the middle and you're gonna get the suck 100%. When you're on one side and you try and do it, it's harder because then like you don't know where they're trying to like rotate to. And like they can go behind like whatever cover and stuff on like some map geometry.
I'm pulling her now. Got her. No, I didn't.
Push. There.
I am. I didn't want my whole fucking team to die to Widow as we move over. Which you know is what happens. Just freeze the ball. Freeze the ball. Focus the ball. He's gonna knock everyone off the map if you don't. Widow's back, left side. Pulling her. I don't know. I think I am.
So this is fine having like the Orisa there to block the Widow. That's good.
Pulling Ana. Holy shit.
So that was good. The only thing like after you saw, if you're paying attention to like the kill feed, you just throw the shield back main again, like you destroy them anyways. But like after you like notice this, then you just throw a shield up main. That's the only reason why that I use like the colored blocks or whatever, because when it's transparent, sometimes it's harder to like notice.
I guess
But
we just run it up mid and don't
yeah,
even care
other than
about
that,
Widows
like
Oh,
because they can't do
the
anything
background
anyways.
of the kill feed's transparent.
yeah, like for you it's transparent. So like if you saw the Widow jumped off the map dead, then you can just put the shield right up back up main because you had it up, and then it just makes it so like maybe nobody, like for sure nobody dies, but then nobody's
I
gonna
didn't
die anyways.
change that. I didn't notice.
I'm gonna pull low ground, pulling high ground.
Guess I'll do that.
Low ground.
I mean, it's just, I don't know, people have different preferences, like it's not a big deal. Alright, I wasn't even really paying attention to what. Okay, let's see.
Whole hog. I'm gonna pull.
Did you get damaged for your shift? Let me see.
Why did they pulling ball.
My shift was probably a waste. I just do it precautionarily because every time I don't, I usually get CC'd or booped.
Okay. Yeah, you had taken a half or whatever, so I could see like you just kind of like a panic type shit like
hard boys.
Oh, I
that.
thought
I was like, yeah, your healer's there, so you don't 100% need to use it, but I mean, it's still at least to use it and like not die. But this was still good, pushing up through for the main, then having bongos for shield. So they kind of like hard steamrolled that. I don't know if there was. This is one more time. So yeah, you get to pick on ball. So there's no need to go up top right.
I'm gonna pull low ground, pulling high ground.
Yeah, then going for that pull right outside the shield is huge.
Going in hard boys.
So that's good. Yeah, I think that was just, it was good capitalization on like wherever the ball dying and then the pull and everything. That's kind of like how you'd want to do it anyways. So it was pretty perfect.
Thanks.
What's up, Nate? What's up, Amber?
Not your fault.
Alright, let's go back to defense. And let's see what happens this time.
Wait,
We get re-rolled on first.
Yikes. Holy shit. They're gonna sorry us.
For your safety, please move behind the barrier.
Hanzo, can you E the shield every time?
So this position's fine. Like there's, I don't know, it's like, I guess like the 100% like safest way or whatever. But since since you're on defense, you can have like a shield cooldown. It's still good to go for like, I don't know, a close whatever hook whatever, because sometimes like as a rotating, somebody will get ahead and then you just get like a free hook. So it's just you thinking, okay, the round starts there, it takes them maybe like 4 or 5 seconds to walk from spawn to here. So it's just like you have like that gut feeling like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna go for pull right above here, and then maybe you catch somebody, maybe you don't. But then
you're saying big brain up pull around the corner.
Yeah, like you just pull like here, whatever, because you're on defense, and then you're gonna have your shield up anyways because it's gonna be on cooldown. So it's like at this time when it's at 5 seconds, right? Shield lasts for 20 seconds. You put the shield up main, wherever, so then you can protect. So by the time round starts, they walk here. That's already 8 seconds. So you go for the pull, you miss it, then you just kite back here, and then you're fine. So instead of just holding back here, you can try and get like an entry pick, and then there you go. You just won an extra, 15 seconds or whatever, because they have to wait for like respawns again.
Okay.
So it's just like maxing like the amount of space that you have. Okay. Also, if you're just gonna put the shield here, then what do you think you should do? If you're just gonna stay in this spot anyways, what do you think you should have done? No.
I don't know.
Double shield. If you're gonna.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're just gonna stay in this one spot anyways, there's.
Well, my shield broke. That's why I reshielded. But. You're
yeah,
saying
but
before
like.
the round starts.
Yeah, but does it break, or does it?
It breaks.
Just,
Hanzo,
it breaks as I reshield.
E the shield every time you see it.
Or the timer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the timer.
Yeah, so I should reshield now.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like you like as the round, whatever, because it lasts for 20 seconds. So you just use once you get this one up, then you just keep doing the shield straight up. So then you have like a double shield every time. So you can do it at like whatever 8 seconds before the round starts. Then so when the round starts, then you shoot whatever like a shield straight up, and then it comes down. So then you can potentially have like 3 shields. So if you're gonna hold this spot, you might as well just do double shield, because then you maximize the amount. But the best whatever the way is still putting the shield up here, trying to go for like the pull, and if it fails, then you come back or whatever. But on some things some maps you can't go for pull, like Paris. So that's when you make sure you do the double shields to give yourself the advantage in the beginning.
Get the Sigma, guys, please focus on kills.
So that was a good pull.
I'm pulling Hanzo.
So that's still good. Yeah, still holding up here is fine since you have like the advantage.
Okay, that's odd. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up.
Alright, so that's good. Go for back up.
What?
I think like the shield or something. I don't know.
Break the shield.
Well, what's that? But that's.
Sigma.
That's just his
Focus
shield.
Zarya. She's high charge.
Spawning.
Just Zarya out.
It was just unlucky.
I have to reload.
Okay, so the only things that I could see you can be doing is saying like Zarya no like bonus, because I know you see it.
Sigma.
So then you go for
Focus
like
Zarya,
the pull or
Zarya,
something.
she's
So it's like bang, you see like the Zarya bubble. So you're like Zarya no personal like
Charge.
whatever.
Pulling Zarya out.
So like still like you're saying like pulling Zarya out is fine, but still you can still say like he has no bolus, and then you like I don't know, your team or your hog knows like it's not gonna like the hook's not gonna get broken just because of a Zarya bubble. So it's just like calling out like the tiny cooldowns and stuff actually does make a difference, especially if it's like hard win cons or movement abilities from everybody.
Gonna kill me.
Yeah. I try to call out the bubbles, but
Yeah, sometimes like you just forget to, but yeah.
Back up, man. Just keep shield out there, but you need to play back. Need to do. And I'm gonna move it back when they come in.
Oh, I found out why you weren't pulling when I asked you. I might just be the hog.
So something I have the Ryan. You want so if you're playing Orisa into Ryan, what do you think the
backup?
Yeah. So like once you what do you like so after the fight's over, what do you think the easiest way to
Tab.
check? Yeah. Pressing tab, and that's
Yeah.
just get in the habit of always doing that.
Why you weren't pulling when I asked you.
Because if you do that, if you saw them like even though they even got like a whatever like a Sonic there, so you kind of saw before they're even coming through, so you could start like moving back now.
Break range shield.
Honestly, I thought this was far enough, but I'm dumb.
Yeah, so against if you're like running against like the Rhines and stuff, it's either you play up like on that's top right platform or whatever, because you know that their goal is to try and whatever get to point, and you want to try and do damage to them and kill them before they go into point. So if he tries to walk through mid, right, you can pull him like wherever back. Maybe your hog can do for like a flank hook, because if the Rhine's pushing up through middle, then he gets a free hook from this side if he's playing up top. Or if they're just holding shield at you like across, then you can just go for a pull them backwards, and hopefully you do damage before they even get to point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it all could have solved from like holding tab, but like those are the spots that you'd want to hold, is either like top right, or you just fall back to like the middle of point, so then you have like the most distance before they can actually close onto you.
My bongo was down.
And that's just unfortunate that he got the pin before that. You're placing the bongos.
Okay. I make the noise. On my screen, my bongo was down, but ping, so it's whatever.
Okay.
On.
So the next thing is, do you think
No.
it was a smart idea to bongo?
No.
And why is that?
Break range shield.
So we could break shield better as they come in on second point.
Yeah. What's another reason why you don't think this was?
Everyone was dead. Or at least one person of ours was dead.
Yeah, and Ryan is right next to you, so he has his hammer, which is... So pretty much you put bongo here, even if you somehow don't get pinned, right? But you're sitting here and you put bongos, right? He's literally just going to swing, and then it's going to collateral you anyways. So, like, with bongos, it's either you just want to put in, like, the far back before, like, the team fight starts, or before they even, like, get through, like, as they're coming through the choke. Just so it's gonna be, like, 100% safe.
Yeah.
Because here they're already on top of you, so just putting the bongos is gonna make it, like, insta-dead anyways.
I should have blocked his charge.
That was not a good idea.
What did we do?
Blizzard.
So I don't think I heard it when they called it, but after the fight's over, since you just lost, you should say what ults, whatever they use. So you saw they used, nano. The Ryan got the pin on you, so I think he may got somebody. So you should be okay. Ryan got the pin and he was nano. That's like 400. So he probably is getting close. He's probably closing shatter maybe like 80% to shatter or something. So then going into this fight, now you know, okay, Ryan's gonna be closing shatter. So if my shield breaks, I have to be able to use fortify. But then you let your team know that Ryan's gonna be closing shatter, so they know not to like play in LOS of like Ryan and stuff. So just getting in the habit of like calling the ults as you see them used, and then going to the next fight, now you know, okay, they're gonna look for this win con. I don't know what Doomfist was, if he's ulted yet or not. I didn't hear that, but just you can ask your teammates and stuff like, okay, what ults were used and stuff. So if you couldn't see it, then at least you know, because your only win con right now is probably nano whole hog. So
yeah,
you can try and just like make a plan like around that. So then you'd be like, okay, we're gonna still hold like whatever top right. We're gonna use like nano whole hog to try and win. So when they try and come through a choke, bang, you can actually try and you can meet them now, and then now you go for like the nano whole hog into like a corner if they try and come up through top. So now you're being the ones being like proactive with your ults instead of being defensive with it, and then you're gonna get way more value out of an ult being way proactive. It's the same thing as like Winston ult, right? So with Winston, it's not the best to use it defensively, because then you don't dictate like how you want to get him to a corner or off a map.
Yeah.
So it's still the same thing here with, bongo, whole hog. You can be okay, how do we want to try and use this defensively and the best way for it to work? So it's like, okay, if they go top, bam, we're just gonna meet them there. If they try and go through this corner, if they go main, okay, we wait, like a couple are gonna get across, then we can like nano whole hog into like either the corner, you split the team, you kill the rest because they have no shield. It's a bunch of different type of plays you can try and do.
Yeah.
Do you have gold?
Yeah, it's only 5.2.
Okay, so same thing here. Where do you think you should be positioned, and what do you think you should be doing?
The shield on the right at the top ledge until I know where they're going, and then move to
Yep.
be in front of them.
Focus this, please just spam this.
So you just kind of got lucky that, whatever, they went up to like top left. But at least if you're like, you notice that you can still get like free shots and then whatever, call it for your team and stuff.
I'm blowing them back. You don't need it. Okay. Just we need to keep spamming or else they're gonna just win by pushing in.
So this is all good.
Okay, that's safe for me.
Your Mei does get
Pulling Ana.
Big walls.
the wall down there. It's possible you could have like just hard pushed the Ryan after whatever she got the wall. So like after you like bang, you see this, you're like, oh, because you see the Ryan getting frozen down there. So now you could be like, okay, because you know if you kill the Ryan, they're gonna like lose wherever. So it's like, hey, let's go. Let every team like, hey, let's go kill like the Ryan or whatever. So you, Hog, and the Mei should be able to kill the Ryan before the wall goes down, or even if the wall like one pillar or whatever goes down, you should still be able to kill them before they actually get like an advantage on it.
Yeah. Okay, that's safe for me to stay here.
So that's just like, I don't know, one thing that you maybe could have done better here.
Dude, their healers heal so fast.
But still holding distance is fine
I
nonetheless.
don't know why I pushed in. That's a trash move. Rise one. Okay.
You have
There were
this.
5 people, right? Oh, we have a nanoed Mei though.
Yeah. Okay. So you have the nanoed Mei. So I would throwing the shield here for the Mei, still perfectly fine, right?
Yeah, I meant moving down was a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. So you literally can just like throw the shield and still get the same amount of value up here as you would have down there, and then still not have put yourself at risk of whoever getting shot or getting killed or whatever, because you can't even. Yeah.
I don't know why I pushed in. That's a trash move. Rise one. Okay. Doom's half. They're coming around the right side. One Hanzo.
So that's fine. You still won the fight.
Staying high ground.
So bang, fight's over. What do you
Shield
need
on
to
the
do?
Right side.
Okay. What else?
Check tab.
Yep. Press tab 4.
Their ults and our ults and see what their comp is if they switched anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I usually check tab way more often, or at least
coming high
twice per every 4 fights, I guess. But I don't know what was
Spam the
happening.
choke,
I was kind of
please.
tilted, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, you know,
Big
sometimes
shadow, I
like
guess.
people like forget to do and stuff, and like this make or breaks like the times you sometimes win maps, sometimes you like what you lose because of it. Just because if you consistently always do this stuff, then you're always gonna like at least giving your team the best chance of winning, you know. So it's hard to get it like 100% of the time, but if you can like make it so at least it's like, you know, 70-80%,
On direct wall.
you'll win like a lot more.
I'm going to point.
Yeah, so this
Red
is
Ryan
fine.
shield's low.
Going to point. It's a good shift.
Jesus. It's okay, I guess. The shield's low.
Okay. Holding
Right
top
side
left.
tab.
Yeah, so okay. So what's your reasoning for holding top left at this time?
They've consistently been going there, and they have Ryan, so they want to have high ground, and because pushing
Okay.
to the low ground would cause them to have the Ryan in front, people in the back. Also, there's no time, so there wasn't really a point for that.
So dependent on like certain rotates, time always comes into a factor. So it's like
Yeah.
even if they like even if I was playing Ryan, like if you're running goats or something, you always want to come, you know, wherever top players don't get dropped. It's like because of the time, there's literally 0% chance that they're gonna go up here and be able to touch the point, right?
Yeah.
They have to do one there, so they're not gonna go up here because they have to touch the point. So you know that they're gonna be going up to point, so then you can either be set up whatever top here, or you can be set up onto point, and then you just are ready to whatever, either halt them off like the bridge that's down there, because since they're on Rhine, you have. Let me see if you like look back over. So it's like bang, like you can try and like halt them off like the bridges are coming through. You can look for any like type of pull plays while you're already on point, so then you don't have to drop and like waste a shield. Maybe you can get like a double shield or something, So that's just like always like keep in mind of like whatever like a time factor. Then based on that, you can change positions. But still a fine halt on the ball to try and summon before he touches. But
oh, I walked into the dragon.
yeah, so that's just unfortunate walking into the dragon. But
Call it to the team.
Smile.
yeah, so like the only thing is, since they're gonna come point, you could have just been like whatever positioned.
I didn't know because I can't look at the clock.
Yeah, sometimes people forget to look at the clock too. I've definitely done it before or whatever. It's like, oh shit. So
Yeah.
definitely happens. What's up, 5K? So aborted. Bond reviewing for a sub.
It's swag fest.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha! After not playing for 7 years, you came back.
It's only 3 seasons.
Only. It's more like 2.5 because they cut this season in half. But yeah.
All right, let's.
No, as well as.
In what? In this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if team actually gonna run out with Sim.
If you don't
Choke and then
Let me see if you
guess.
hit
Yeah, but I don't
tab
trust
or
the
anything.
TPS to do their job.
What's that? So then pull anyways.
For me, it's loading, so I don't
If you
know.
don't
what you're
trust your
looking at.
DPS to do their job and you want expect
Yeah, so I'm
them
like
to
trying to see now
I expected to spam the choke and then the people just use
if
the cooldowns because
you
they're
press
bad at
tab or whatever. Okay.
That's what I expect to happen.
Okay, so bang, you see this as like whatever your team comp. So what do you think your
I was thinking we'd go main and TP to point, but that didn't work out the first time. So then our sim said we're gonna go top right, and then that didn't work out, and then we capped. I don't know how. and
okay?
then we dropped.
I guess we'll take a look at that, whatever. But okay, so for like the sim stuff, I guess it's like it's really up to like the sim player. You can't really like they're gonna do like what they want to do, but
Yeah.
it's either you can go from like whatever main, you can TP to point if you get the luxury. Usually they're probably gonna like jump on you before you do that. You can go from like left side, use TP into this room, right?
Yeah.
On like the right side, and then bang, you do like a full on rotate up to the top, and then you can just get on a point, and then you're good to go. That's like probably the safest and easiest way. So it's like
Never
it's
done
hard
that
to like
before.
tell your sim like, hey, this is what I want you to do, because they probably have a plan when they go sim, but
Yeah.
you can always just give like suggestion, hey, let's just teleport to like bottom right, and then
We are.
do like the full on rotate to point,
Oh god. Wait, is that right? Is that death?
because you have the Reaper, so you want to try and close
Yeah,
the
my
distance,
shield's
and
non-existent.
you can't play far. If you play far away, then you lose. So it's either you have to go to point, force them to point, or you just rush into them on main since you have a Reaper and a Symmetra. Those are the only two plays
I
that you
wanted to
can
point
do.
out that the sim made a call and I just didn't hear it. Because I'm
Oh,
deaf
did he say something?
half the time. Yeah, he said to go right or through this room, and I was alone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my shield's just non-existent.
Okay, so yeah, that's
Up and over wing.
unfortunate that you were just like off doing your own thing, and then Sim died because the shield broke and you didn't have it for like the TP.
They have so much fucking more damage than we do.
We swap top.
My shield is just non-existent against their comp, so we need something to.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So the only thing to stop this from happening, where it's like, oh, your shield's always like broken, it's because you guys are at a disadvantage, right? You already lost like a couple fights, but then you're still staying in the same exact spot, putting a shield up. So what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna, since they have the advantage, it's the same thing. When you were on defense and you got the advantage, they're all playing close up here. They don't worry about getting picked, so they all can like see, break shield, and do all that stuff. So the only thing you can do is you call for like a regroup, right? So then bang, you got like kill pick. Now you go to like a safe spot. Like you can just like whatever chill behind here, get a full regroup, and then you push back out again. Because instead of just sitting here wasting resources, then people are constantly gonna be getting picked because they think that they're gonna have a shield and like all that stuff. It's just kiting all the way out, waiting for everything, and then going back in, right? Yeah. So that's the only thing that I regret here that you could be doing better.
Back up.
So I think you have a hog too. So it's either you'd cut back up to like here, or you have like, because you know that if they push past, you can maybe get a hook. So it's like, okay, we'll like wait here till our team's ready to push, and then once they're coming, you can put like a shield and peek with hog to go for a pull hook. Or if they are dumb and somebody tries to push past, then you can just go easy, like pull hook's not gonna really want to pass the shield. So there's only like two things. Yeah, I kind of just chuck this swap in there. It's kind of
Bro.
Yeah.
Okay, teleport whenever. Let's go.
Rude.
Fuck.
Do they know that you're going to use?
Okay. So if you're gonna make a teleport play and stuff, how do you think? Yeah. How do you like the way it's gonna work is when you teleport to a spot, you need to you're gonna need to have your shield. So this is kind of on you as well.
Okay, teleport whenever.
Oh no, this was fully on me because I half expected people to just go when they see the teleporter, so I went to try and body block, and then wait for my shield. But I should have told them to say we don't have shield, so we have to wait. But
yeah,
I just expected people to bot in, so I did too.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, like. You told them like, okay, everybody like go teleport in.
Yeah.
And then you, right after you say that, you put your shield up now. So now you have 8 seconds of being death and your team not being able to do anything, and you're teleporting whatever up top, or if you need to teleport you here, you're pretty much have 0 like cover for your team, whatever. So you're just like waiting to get shot. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. So every time you want to do like a teleport play, you just want to make sure you have your shield up, so when you do teleport, you can put it down depending on maybe farther up. Maybe you have to do it right instantly right when you get the TP, depending on where it's at. But always make sure that you're paying attention to the cooldowns, and if you have to say, hey, I don't have shield, like wait a little bit, and then making sure you're on the same page before like you actually go through.
Let's go.
Rude.
Fuck.
Do they know that?
Yeah, because there you did get hooked, but then if you had like a shield, you could have just put it right like at your feet or whatever. Then maybe you live because you have fortify, and you can just like bubble dance back and forth.
8, 9.
I should have fortified before I went through, but I was reloading, so I had a mental block.
Yeah, I mean, I would never fortify as I'm walking through a TP. You'd use it like when you see like for like the hook coming at you or something.
Yeah.
Because if you otherwise you're just pressing fortify, and then it's just like a wasted cooldown. So you never want to just like use it for no reason. So teleporting through is like the right play. But then I wouldn't use fortify before, so you'd only use fortify like after you see like the hook coming at you or something like that. But the only thing that's the reason why you lost is because you didn't have a shield when you went through, and then you end up getting like hooked, and then your team whoever dies. So that's fine. You need to use the hook there.
I find it a little rich that our Hanzo's complaining about lack of shield break.
What? God, fucking
Barely missed the.
We got it.
What?
Shield break. I find it a little rich that our Hanzo's
I
complaining
just
about lack of shield break.
wasn't in its LOS.
Yeah, and okay. So the other thing is, I think your hog is still in the backline from like the
Death.
I think he's behind. Is he behind?
Yeah,
him?
yeah, he's behind it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's behind him. So okay, you're gonna be going for like pulls. Going for the pulls and stuff is fine, but okay. So they just use pull hook, right? And you just use fortify. So the only way you can push through up here is when you have like 4 hooks. They're just gonna go for an easy pull hook. So you kind of just like you're thinking, oh dude, I'm just gonna be able to tank this, and like they're not gonna be able to do anything, but then you end up getting like you walk up and of course they're gonna go for a pull hook because it's the easiest thing, because you're saying, oh, Orisa no fortify, Orisa no fortify, like you do this when you're on offense and you see Orisa no fortify, right? So you know exactly that's what they're gonna be doing. So the only way to make sure that you don't get hooked is either you put like the shield up and then you're close enough to where you can just like walk forward and then it cuts the LOS of like the orb, or you have to play super safe until like your like shift or something's up, or like you have to pretty much wait till this is up, and then you can try and look to get like a re-engage, because now you're pretty much just playing exactly right in their hand and then you're gonna die. There's no way you die unless your BAP is ready to like throw a field on top of you,
Yeah.
I find it a little rich that our Hanzo's complaining about lack of shield break.
I wanted to push in because I saw them go into point, and I thought that these people would back up, but I was wrong.
Yeah, so if you wanted to like push up, then you could be like, hey, everybody get ready to push up. So then I wouldn't have walked straight like this. I would have walked like this as Orisa, and then you take like the lowest amount of like damage point as you're walking through, because when you get here and you put the shield, then at least you're closer to where the shield is, because it's gonna be at your feet, so where you can like maybe dodge the pull, maybe they like mess it up or something like that, so if you just walk up straight at them, it's like the easiest angle to get like the pull hook off, and it's gonna be hard for your BAP to whatever you get the focus doesn't know like where you're gonna want to push up.
Yeah.
We got this.
How much damage does Hanzo's E do if you hit all of them?
70 times 6.
Oh.
70 times 6. Unless you're dead, then it's 140 times 6.
Okay. I don't hear it in the comms yet, so I don't think you've said anything, but as the whole fight's going on,
Call out.
you have what do you think the main thing you need to call out is as like these fights are going on?
Whether or not people are dying on for up one, down one, ults that have been used.
Yeah.
Checking tab, stuff like that.
So right now they're Junk's dead and somebody else is dead. So what you want to do, like, hey, we're up to right now. Let's like quick regroup, and then we can push in while we have an advantage and stuff. Because right now you kind of just like walking up, putting a shield, trying to take a fight when you're at like a disadvantage, and then like if you were just like think about, okay, hey, we're down a couple, let's just regroup and then we'll push in, or hey, we got a couple picks, so maybe the play is to like everybody, we need a hard push in because now we have like the number advantage type of thing, So that's why it's just getting in the habit of saying like up one, down one, up two and stuff. It also gets your like mind working on like, it'll make you think about if you want to push in or not. So it's not like multiple things. It's all just gonna come like super naturally.
Going main, pulling Ash top
Again,
left.
that's something I'm just not doing today. I don't know why.
Oh, you got hooked. That's
I
bad.
usually end up doing that, but
You're whole hacking? That's good. I'm going to point. I'm just ignoring everything. That tends to work.
They have no main heals.
So this is fine.
Versus
Going to
half
point's
on
perfect, so then
point.
it forces them have to whatever go to point here. It's a good push on the Orisa, knowing that she's low.
It's
One hog.
and
Any amount of healing for me would be nice.
it's just you and Hanzo on point.
It's me, Junk, and Hanzo. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fine. You had a bunch of like whatever ults and you're up in numbers, so when you push
Enable
through,
question mark.
you're good. But
Ash is in the top left window. Which means
now you'd be like, okay, so they used bongos. I think they used dragon, or you used dragon. I forget which one it was.
Dragon.
But yeah, so it's pretty much just like, okay, they have this amount of ults or whatever. Now, what else do they have? And then, because depending on what ults like they have, you're either gonna go from like middle, or it might be better depending on what ults you have and they have, that you go, top right, play slow to try and build an ultimate, and then you try and get the engage off. There's plenty of times where we'll be in a match and then we have no ultimates, so it'll be okay, let's play slow, build our ults, and then we'll take an engage, because you have no like win condition, so there's no point in even trying to like
not far. We're not
take a fight. Otherwise you just let them like cycle ults really well. So that's a good pull.
Okay, they're top left, so when we go in, we have to turn around. You ready? 3, 2, 1, we're going to turn around. They're not there anymore. We're top right. Pulling them down. I got Zen down. Zen. We're all dying.
So it's hard because okay, so you got the pick whatever, so you'd want to whatever like push in and stuff.
Yeah.
But do you think going like main like this is the best thing for Orisa?
It was not the best thing. My idea was to be on that bridge, see them top left, and pull them down into the thing below.
Yeah.
But they weren't there.
Let me see if you could have.
Okay, they're
I guess
top
you
left.
was
When we go
always-
in, we have to turn around. You ready? 3, 2, 1. We're going turn around. They're not there anymore.
Also, I knew I'd leave my back open to the top right high ground, but I thought they weren't.
Yeah,
there.
it's like the only thing you could have done since you know you have whatever like fortify and like stuff up. Like you still have like your main things and a shield. It's like you can make sure that's where they're at before you even put down a shield because you know you're not gonna die through fortify when you have all your healers right here plus a bat field. So even if you have to take some damage, just to make sure like you know where they're at. So it's like if you were to walk through and then you see like they're not up there, it's like okay, you can just hit shift if they like throw a hook or something, and it's like now you can have your shield turned to like the right way. So it's like not just putting your shield like where you think they are going through, like make sure that's where they're at since everybody's like together anyways, and you have you're also up one, so you have the advantage. So you just have to like play slow and like it's like fast and smart. You don't just like turn off brain like hold W, but you can still play like pretty aggressively since you do have the advantage, and you want to try and like force the advantage to work better.
We're all dying, aren't we?
So like the better play definitely would have been like walk through, see if they're up there, then you can place a shield, then you can go for hook to wherever they're at, or if they're like rotating somewhere, then you just go like whatever straight to point. And then we'll see how you take this. Next engagement.
The amount of damage that Torbjorn does.
Hey, I don't have gold damage anymore. Pog.
I'm still new at this.
Let's go high ground.
Alright, so this is fine.
I didn't like what I was doing, just walking and moving in a straight line, but I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so the main thing, so your team's down here.
Yeah.
And you're up here. You always want to kind of like at least be with your team so they can give a shield as they're whatever going across. You call to go wherever like top right, and then what's your reasoning for this?
Because they were there, and I wanted to take a close fight because I believe I can beat other Orisas in 1v1s, and that's usually what close encounters as Orisas ends up being.
Okay. So
that's just my only thought.
Yeah, so like wherever like going top is definitely like wherever the right play. But if you always to get a habit of pressing tab and saying you see that you have BAP ultimate, it's up. So the only way BAP's gonna get value is if you go top, because if you go through main, you're gonna have to try and rush the point, and then it's bad. But if you go wherever top right, if they back out, then bam, you can put your square right here, and then you shoot through it. Or you can rotate all the way to the top of the way high ground. You put the square, you get a couple picks, and then you drop the point, right? So you always want to try to think of like, okay, how would you enable like the best amount of like ultimates and stuff. So if you were like thinking about that as you're like going through, like, okay, we'll go top right, and then let's play for Bapple, and you're telling your team this, like, hey, let's play for this, so then he even knows the plan, like, so he doesn't have to try and like just use his ultimate and nobody else knows like what's going on. It's like everybody's on the same page of using the ultimates. So yeah, like there you should have your team's trying to rotate whatever up.
Shielded on the stairs.
Yeah, it's like put a shield like the corner so at least they can like walk up, because right here it's kind of the shield does absolutely nothing for you and your team. You're lucky that like nobody died and got picked. Oh, there it is. There's the pick. But yeah. So him, Bap, whoever using all something, all this goes back to if you had the plan before going into the fight, then it's good. It's like if nobody else is doing it, then of course it's your job if you want to be like a person like, okay, hey, let's wait to use square till we get top right, and then if that was a plan, then this wouldn't have been used, and then now you still have like a win con for the next fight because you know, okay, Ana died, okay, maybe let's you're saying like, okay, Ana died, let's reset real quick, let's get a quick reset and wait for Ana, because you're not going to be able to win a 2 CP unless Junk somehow gets like a 5k or something, because you have no main heals right now, and they're just gonna build up pepper you with damage, and then you're not gonna be able to heal it all up before you lose.
3, 2, 1 now.
So it's like here, this whole kind of engagement is like super rushed because you're down your Junk, you're down your Ana, so now you're trying to do like a 2v, I think it's like a 5, I don't think it's a 6, I think you like gotta pick, it's like a 2v, like I don't know, you 4v5 4v6 maybe, because he's gonna respawn soon or whatever, so you're pretty much just wasting your final push attempt, like not really like paying attention or thinking about how you want to actually try and get this win, you know.
Jesus Christ. Go.
So like, what is the better thing? What do you think? Like, so the better thing, 100% better thing to do, what would it have been to do after you saw?
Wait for Ana to come back.
Yeah, you could just be chilling at that like whatever top spot, because then it's hard for sometimes Ana to get crosses or whatever, because if people are like at these windows, so you might need to like, you play like at that back little like ledge thing, right? So you have like your shield chilling there, and then maybe you come back if she needs it to like whatever, escort her over across. Maybe you have to put like a shield, or you just body block as she like can come up the stairs, and then like, okay, by all that time comes down, it was at like 30, maybe it's like 10 seconds, so you have to try and get like a fast push whatever, but at least it's going to be like a 6v6, and then you have like the best chance, because then you can try and maybe send one to point, or if you're like, okay, Hog, you go to point, and then everyone else is just like hard pocketing. Bap can like throw a field and all that type of stuff.
Ball to get back.
So it just makes it so you have like the whatever best chance to win.
You use suicide?
Oh fuck.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, they're the only way you can get across is if you wait to use the.
I was hoping that the momentum
could like pull you like whatever,
and
jump you
slam
across.
would have picked me up, but
I mean, I've never tried to do it that way, because that's like the 100% like riskiest way possibly. Like definitely, maybe it's possible.
yeah.
But I've never ever tried that. Okay, so for this whole VOD, what do you think the main things that you need to work on are?
The consistency of pushing tab more, and more specific call outs and directions more consistently again. So basically consistency is key in all the things that I do.
So I know you've done like the stuff in like the whatever previous VOD, so it's kind of just you like get good at like some of the other things, and then the other stuff starts to like lack whatever. It's just making sure you do it in like every single game, you know.
Yeah.
The other thing would be to like think about like, you know, like maybe going for like the aggressive whatever pull hooks, like, or wherever engage spots that you can, like especially on like 2 CPs. I went to payloads, depending on like the payload map, it's not very good to like hold super close. It's like maybe on Kings you go for like a early thing, but then you like kite back super fast. But especially on 2 CPs, you can go for those like early pull hooks and stuff like Volskaya, whatever this map. Let me see if there's any. I'm trying to think of any of the other. There's probably more 2 CPs. I'm just like not thinking about it, but go for those like early little like pull hooks things, and then you just kite back, because there's zero light, like there's no chance that one of you guys gets picked as you're going through, and it just gives you the like entry and like advantage or something. So I would just be like mindful of those, and yeah, like the ultimates, which you already touched on, by pressing tab. Pretty much by pressing tab, if you get in the habit of like ingraining those things like into you. Just by pressing tab, you're gonna be like, okay, since I press tab, now it's gonna trigger in your mind, okay, ults, make a freaking plan, you know, and like everything else is gonna be triggered in your brain just by pressing tab, because now you're thinking about like you're looking at like all the statistics and stuff. So I would say it's hard to try and get everything to go at once, but if you just go into like wherever like the next match and just do like one thing, so like, hey, I'm gonna make sure to press tab and then like make a plan for the ults like every single time, like wherever this game, and then do that for like that whole game, and then like the next game, you know, you add on to that, or you try like something else, and then eventually it's you try and say, hey, I'm gonna try and do all this stuff at once, because if you go in and try and do everything at once, it's literally almost impossible, and then your own gameplay suffers. Like you start missing shots, you start missing like rotations, you start like looking at like do stuff, because I've definitely tried to do everything at once before, and it's not good. Like your own gameplay definitely does suffer, because it's way too much like thinking and not just relying on like second nature stuff for it to come to you. So is there any other questions that you have about this that you want answered or anything?
How do you play against Sigma Zarya? Because it's a pain in the ass.
Right here.
For me, at least.
This, and then because pull hook, they only can block wherever so much that you have the damage to break Sigma shield, and then the pull hook is the best, as well as if they're going like Sigma and Orisa, this is still good. But if they're doing Sigma Orisa, then you can like Symmetra is actually pretty fucking strong against it, because you have so much, your beam gets 100% charged pretty fast. But yeah, against like the Sigma Zarya, Orisa Hog is definitely like the best whatever combo for it, because you get the free pull hooks, plus you just ask for any of like the damage you can get, either like a Hanzo, you can get like people with like high like pick potential, even like Kree's pretty decent, but Widow, like Hanzo and stuff are good, because they can't have a shield up on you, or they can't have it on them, because they're always going to be a high ground, so it's either one or the other, and so you're always going to be at advantage in one of like the whatever fights. But yeah, that's definitely the best one.
Basically pull hook, because half the time at least the Sigma absorbs the hook, and then it's just over. Right, and then if he doesn't have it, then the Zarya personals him, or she friendly bubbles for him.
Yeah, but if they waste those cooldowns, then you should have the advantage to push in, and then your DPS should have the advantage. So it's pretty much it's all just like, yeah, if you exhaust those resources, then it gives the advantage for, you know, other things. So it's like, bam, they use like their personal and this. Okay, then Ana knows to look for a nade, you know. So it's like, depending on whatever DPS you have, so it's like, or supports you have, so like you try and get the resources out, or if they get the resources out, then you see it and you capitalize on it, right? So it's like you can't do literally everything by yourself. Like you can give somebody else like the tools they can to try and make it work, and whether they do that or not, it's kind of up to them, but like you can still try and help them out. Like, hey, Zarya personal down, let's look for like an Ana nade, or let's look for like a hard engage onto Zarya now, like push, you know, because you see that's down. It still goes back to like all the fundamentals. You see like a cooldown ability used, you call it out, and then if it's something you can engage on, then you hard engage on it, because as like this, or even if you're doing Orisa, whatever Sigma into like Sigma Zarya, like you still can push on that, because now you're gonna have a shield, they don't have a shield, or if they do have a shield, you can just like break it and like push past it or whatever, you know, and try and get the win.
So basically, against specifically Sigma Zarya, focus on shield break and
just try and get the cooldowns, like go for the pull hook, whatever early. If they force it out, then you know, then you can try and hard push, because if Sigma doesn't have his whatever the black hole ability, then you can hard push on it, and then if once you hard push on it, he's gonna put the shield out, and then once you break the shield, then you can just kill him no matter what, because you can only put the black hole up like again in like another fucking like 10 seconds or some shit. So there's like, you just try and force an advantage. If you take it slow where you're just sitting there, then of course you're gonna end up losing, because then he's gonna get high charge. They're gonna be able to cycle all their abilities and stuff. So you have to try and you like wait for the opportunity to engage, and then you engage on it, right? So same thing as if you were like when you're in 3/3 goats. Do you just like hard int on somebody? No, it's like you take like a neutral, maybe try and like force a bubble, get your energy Zarya. But if they like misuse a bubble or they misuse amp, then you try and you get to engage on that, right? Like, hey, bubble me. Oh, hey, amp, and they don't have theirs. Like, you take the gauge on that. Like, all those fundamentals still go into, you know, playing like Orisa, whatever comps and stuff. Like, you can still like hard engage, you know, with Orisa. It's not just always sitting back the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right, that's it. That's good.
Yes.
All right, nice. But yeah, so Brent, like, you still like the positioning and all that, the callouts and stuff is still fine. So it's just like those small little things that to work on, and then eventually, once you get it all, then you're gonna be set, good to go, dude. Top 500, easy clap.
Stream snipe time.
Yeah, stream snipe time, dude. All right, awesome.
Bye.
Yep, bye. All right, chat. Well, that's the VOD review. Hope it was helpful for you guys. Maybe some of you guys could like relate to it, or if you have the same questions, hopefully it was like answered. So, do you take Overwatch questions from listeners? Yeah, you can ask any questions you want.